front row is going to be Trey Walker, Jason Camacho, and Alan Phillips. Row 2 is going to just be J.J. Hendrick. Kevin Nolte's sitting the weekend out. He's got an injury. Row 3 is Chris Wilkins, Kyle Coles, Grant Taylor. Row 4 is just going to be Marshall Rosas, Corey Papas, also suffered injuries, sitting the weekend out. Row 5 is Colton Lovelace, Casey Lewis, and Joe Becco. Row 6 is Mike Bradshaw and Jeff Shea. Row 7 is Joseph Russo, Garrett Cray, who's on a borrowed Gixxer 1000, and 72X, a sort of out-of-towner, so not big here. For the novices, their front row, row 9 overall, 923 Isaiah Fuentes, 244 Danny Gates, and 475 PC Hadley. Row 10 is Florney and Alanis. Row 11, novices is Hodges, McGuire, and George. And row 12 overall is Travis Hartley. Alright, so welcome to grid. These are the fast laps of the weekend. Now, interestingly enough, or at least the fastest bikes of the week, but interestingly enough, we're going to see if we actually get faster laps. So earlier today in the Stock 1000 race, we saw Mike Lou Sanchez on Gixxer 750 and Jason Camacho lap after lap break the lap record in this direction. Mike Lou Sanchez is not on the grid for this particular race, so we're going to see if maybe Jason Camacho was on lap record pace from catching a tow, or maybe he was just out there sitting it on his own. It hasn't actually gotten that much hotter now as it was in the earlier race, so I don't think the tires are going to be suffering as much as I thought in this Formula 1 race. So there is a chance that Jason Camacho is going to be back on lap record pace, although I see Mikey Lou Sanchez rolling into the back of the grid, all the way at the back, with the neon green wheel on the back of that Gixxer 750. So I see, yeah, he's all the way on the back. The extra grid is a right-in. So Mikey Lou is a right-in, so he is actually out there. Let's see what we get for pace out of him. Because again, I don't think the tires are suffering that bad. So away, it looks like Trey Walker got a good start. He's leading down in turn 14, lap 1. We see behind him, it's we're looking at mid-pack. We've got the red leathers there. I think that's Chris Wilkins. So it's Trey from, looks like JC right there, and then Alex. And Mikey Lou Sanchez already going around the outside of Alan Phillips at the exit of 14. So it is Trey, JC, Mikey Lou, 1, 2, 3. Sort of hard copy this morning. Looking back at the novices, Isaiah PC Hadley there. So we're going to find out, is there more this track has to give on this day, this August 9th here, CMRA round 7 Sunday races. Trey Walker still in front, leading into turn 10 at the end of the back straight. JC Camacho wide though, can't get it stopped and turned up the hill at the extra 10. So now Mike Lou Sanchez has just stuck his nose right in second place, and it's going to come after Trey Walker here through the fast sweeping corners of 7 and 6 down the hill in 5. And again, Mike Lou is doing a lot of passing through this sector just because of the roll speed he can gain. So did he get around the outside of Trey? He did. So Mike Lou just rolled right around the outside of Trey in 6. And now Mike Lou has gone right to the front. And there's a Trey Walker between him and JC Camacho, the two guys on lap record pace earlier. So I don't know that JC is going to get the same code that he had earlier. Looking back, sort of at the mid-pack, I see, who is that? I think that's already Kyle Coles, with Chris Wilkins right behind him back there. Nope, Kyle Coles is there behind Alan Phillips, so I think that's Joe Becco and Chris Wilkins back there, the red leathers and the blue R1. So we got timing hits at first. We got Mike Lou Sanchez with a 156.3 from a dig, 2 and a bit seconds faster than everyone else. He was pretty last across the stripe when the grid started because he was right in. So we've got Sanchez and Trey from Camacho, and then Alan Phillips and Kyle Coles right after them. It was Joe Becco and Chris Wilkins back there in 6 and 7. Jay Hendrick right now in front of Michael Bradshaw and Grant Taylor for 8, 9, and 10. And then it looks like our leading novice is Isaiah Fuentes, number 923, who ran a 2:01 from a dig. So that 2:01 is faster than everyone but Chris Wilkins, the 7th place expert. So Isaiah Fuentes is already running some very fast laps, far faster than the other novices in that same bracket. In fact, Isaiah Fuentes was about 6 seconds faster, it looks like, than the next, 5 seconds faster than the next fastest novice, which is Nick Florney. Isaiah Fuentes loves this track. He always loved to go in the other direction. And he came out for the first time and ran it this way last year. and sort of struggled with trying to figure it out, but he has since fallen fully in love with this direction as well, and has made it a point to come out and be as dominant as possible. So we're looking at Mikey Lou out front. Again, bright white tire compound sticker flickering across the front of his front tire. And he's just spending so little time on the binders in a straight line that little piece of paper's got a really easy life to live. So JC has gotten past Trey. So it is now Sanchez, Camacho, Walker, 1, 2, and 3. And then let's see what's going on with Alan Phillips and Kyle Coles. The wind is picking up, though. You can see the camera is fluttering. That would be the sunshade and the rain cover that's actually picking up the wind, unfortunately, making the camera wobble. But that means that this wind is going to start affecting. It's going to start affecting the drive on a couple of these straights, especially getting on the back straight where you have no topology to help calm that wind down. You end up getting pushed wide off the side of the track, so that's going to maybe come into play as these guys go fast. Mikey Lou doing a 53.8, which is not quite as fast as he was doing this morning. He was a 53.456, I think, is the lap record for this morning. So I see Kyle Coles following Alan Phillips quite closely. He's not really looking to make a move there. He's not close enough. Although Kyle Coles got the roll speed down to 14, so he makes up probably 2 or 3 bike lengths, but it's still 2 bike lengths of daylight between him and Alan. You've got the pair of Kyle Coles and Joe Pecco. They are both members here, and they ride here very often. So Kyle Coles knows this place probably better than the back of his hand. Kyle Coles, also congratulations to him. He's going to have a baby with his wife here. Actually, his wife's going to have a baby. He's going to sit there and do all the easy work here at the end of the summer. So he's excited to make a pass just like this and make it stick into turn 10 on what might be Kyle Coles' last expert race season for a couple of years as he starts a family with his wife. So congratulations to them. But we now have Kyle Coles passed Alan Phillips into turn 8, the back section, and has actually put a pretty decent gap on Alan through the fast right of 7, fast left of 6. So I'm actually wondering, with the roll speed that Kyle has, and he doesn't have anyone in front of him, I wonder if he's going to be able to chase down Trey quickly, or if it's going to take the whole race, or he's just sort of going to find him and sit behind him for the rest of it. Our leaders are going to be coming across the line here shortly. They're probably going through the 2-1 chicane as we speak. You see Trey coming down the hill into turn 2 there. And yeah, the camera's still shaking, so the wind is definitely picking up. And we are seeing that in the lap time. So it looks like Mikey Lou is coming across the line. He's just running at 53.9, so slightly slower that lap. JC Camacho is also running 53.9. So JC Camacho and Mikey Lou Sanchez are now on lap time parity, but they're slightly slower than this morning. And I wonder if the wind has to do with that, or if the temperature has started to make the tires live a more difficult life. We've got Kyle Coles has closed up on Trey Walker, probably 6 or 8 bike lengths, the last couple corners. In fact, Kyle Coles with that massive roll speed down turn 13 or 14 there is probably going to put him in a position to make a pass on to Trey. If not through 13 and 12, Kyle's going to be in a great position to make a pass on the inside going into 10. So right there, yeah, Kyle's a little bit narrower into 12. I wonder if he just prefers that line. It's a little bit less bumpy there on the inside. The high downforce cars have to shoot up the track with that. So as we go watch the battle for 3rd and 4th go into turn 10 with Mikey Lou Sanchez and JC Camacho running out front. And then we have 3rd and 4th, Kyle Coles and Trey Walker behind them. And I'm waiting to see if a pass was made. We have missed them on the pan. So we've got Mikey coming out of turn 8. So he's still leading as you'd expect. JC Camacho is probably shortly behind him, half a second thereabouts. And then I want to see who is in front of the Coles Walker battle right now. And we keep cutting away from them. And I wish the guys on camera would listen to what I'm saying, that I want to watch the battle for 3rd and 4th. But eventually they'll listen to me and we'll get to see what's going on. So no, it is still Trey in front of Kyle Coles after another half a lap of them battling it out. But Kyle Coles is right on Trey's rear tire. So I'm wondering now, I've been told that Kyle Coles is very good at riding a very wide motorcycle, and he's hard to pass. I'm curious to see how defensive Trey's going to be into turn 2, and he doesn't have to be. Kyle pulls out to make a pass and then thinks better of it, slots right back in line. So it is still Trey from Kyle going towards turn 15 down the pit straight, cross flag. So we are now 4 done, 3 to go in the 7-lap race. Kyle pulled out to make a pass, and Kyle made a pass on the power in a straight line down the pit straight. So we now have Moles in front of Trey going down toward turn 14. So that's a position change there. So Kyle Coles at his home track gets himself back onto the podium. And looking back behind them, who is catching up? Okay, so Alan Phillips is there. And Alan Phillips is actually looks like he's coming for Trey Walker as well. Alan Phillips, there was a larger gap when he was sort of playing around with Kyle Coles earlier. And then behind them, it was, I'm going to see who that, the white bike, that was Joe Fecko back there with the red number 12 plate and the blue R6, or blue R1 behind that now. Which, you know, is reflected by the timing, so I could just read the timing screen and I know what's actually going on. So again, we have 3 laps to go, 4 done. Looking out front here, this is Kyle Coles with probably 8 or 10 bike lengths of gap between him and Trey Walker, and Alan Phillips is looking at the back of Trey's bike, about the same gap back to him. I don't see a whole lot of difference in lap time between them. So that last lap, Alan Phillips was only 0.2 faster. I'm sorry. No, he was a 0.7 faster than Trey Walker in front of him on the last lap. It looks like Trey ran a faster lap previous, which is why that gap had grown when he and Kyle were playing. So with that lap time difference and the gap between them, it looks like Alan Phillips might just be able to get himself on top of Trey Walker before the end of this race, as long as he can keep up those hotter laps that Trey's putting in the back half of this race. The leaders are shortly coming across the stripe. A few laps to go, so we have 2 laps to go. And yeah, there's still Mikey Lou and JC Camacho are not on lap record pace anymore. I mean, Mikey is still doing, you know, high 53s, which is wicked fast. JC is falling off. He's now doing a 56.4. I think he said, all right, I don't need to chase anymore. Mikey's out front. I just need to make sure I keep Trey and Alan covered behind me for the sake of these championships. And looking at it, Alan Phillips has closed up slightly on Trey Walker, but I think the bigger gap change there is Kyle Coles put in his fastest lap of the race at 1:55.6. So Kyle Coles is now safely away from Trey Walker, and Alan Phillips is slowly creeping up in the back of the race. So we have 2 to go. About a lap and a half actually, with Joe Fecko just sort of watching Alan close in on Trey, but not doing a whole lot by himself to gain track position. Looking back towards the novices, so I still see Isaias Fuentes. He's running, looks like his fastest lap is at 2:05. He is the lead novice, and behind him, we don't have another novice until Mitch Flority, who's 2 experts. So Marshall Rosas, the number 82 expert, and 32 Casey Lewis. Those experts are splitting the top 2 novices, Fuentes and Flournoy, and we have Travis Farley, 115 on R1. He's in 3rd place for the novices at this moment. Garrett Gray is the expert splitting Flournoy and Farley. So looking back up at our expert race on screen, we do see Alan Phillips closing up slowly on Trey Walker. So they're both Dunlop riders. So whatever is going on their tires beneath as far as temperature and wear, etc., is going to be probably pretty similar. They're both on R1s, they're both on Dunlops. To note, Kyle Coles, however, is also in R1, is also this year, I think, still on Dunlops. He swapped a couple years ago when he started running the Superstar, the Stock 1000 class at Moto America, which Moto America powers BS Nix. So of the top 5, 3 are on Dunlops, but the 2 leaders, Mike Sanchez and JC Camacho, the 2 guys who were on lap record pace earlier, are on Pirellis. Also, looking at the flag out, so we got 1 to go, and Alan Phillips is now very close. He's certainly catching a toe proper from Trey Walker now going into 14. So that's going to be Trey pushing a little bit of air. That's going to be Alan easily detecting issues that Trey's having. Trey looks maybe slightly wide there in 14, but got that to the apex, so maybe he just prefers that wider line. And 14 is ripply because of the downforce cars pushing the asphalt as they power up the hill and the track's going the other way. So there is a smooth line there, and there is a ripply, chattery line there that you sort of have to pick poison. As they go on the back straight, Alan Phillips looked like he was wider and trying to square up Trey a little bit going down the back straight to get a drive. And they are more than side by side. It looks like Alan Phillips has already gotten past Trey just on corner exit, slightly deep into 10, but manages to get it close enough to the apex to stay ahead. So Alan Phillips has passed Trey on the last lap in the drive out of turn 11, and then makes 10 clean enough that Trey can't fire back. But Trey's not letting this one go. Trey is just listening to Alan's motor. As soon as he hears revs, he's giving it throttle. They are stuck right on top of each other, going through the fast right and left from 7 and 6. As they head down the hill into 5, Trey is not looking to make a move, but he is right on top of Alan. So let's see if he can slingshot up the hill past 4 into 3. No move. It looks like into 3. So now Trey's probably only options a Hail Mary for a block pass down into the 2-1 chicane. Let's see if he can stay close enough. Alan is still in front of Trey. Alan is defensive, mid-track down the straight. Trey tries to square him up. Trey's going to try and square up Alan and beat him to the line, and I don't think he's going to have enough room. No, there's no way he's going to get that. Okay, so it is final position on the podium is Kyle Coles after Mikey Sanchez and Jason Ponce checked out. But it is Alan Phillip who beats Trey Walker to the line for 4th and 5th.